Hey guys, welcome back to another video here on the channel. Today I want to show you around the 13.4-inch infotainment system inside the 2024 and newer Chevy Silverado HD as well as the GMC Sierra HD trucks. This also should apply to the half-ton 2022 and newer Silverado and Sierra because they have the same overall Google integration and the same size head unit. So let's not waste any more time. Take a look at what the 13.4-inch head unit has to offer. I do want to quickly mention I have a separate video here on the channel going over the 12.3-inch fully digital gauge cluster. So if you guys are curious about how that works, all the menus, options, and layouts you can change on it, make sure to check that video out because I give you a full walkthrough of the cluster, which is very handy inside of these trucks. Okay, so immediately starting out, this is going to be the home page that comes out of the box from the factory inside of your truck. You can see you have a couple of different sections. On the right-hand side, you have a little tile which has the Google Maps currently running on it. This does have built-in Google integration with Google Maps and some of the other Google Assistant functionality. Now in this tile, you can scroll up and down to change what is displayed inside of that portion of the screen. You can see there is an analog clock. Scroll down one, there is your current source or media playing. It's on FM with a little scroll that will cycle through some of your favorite shortcuts for the media screen. And lastly, like I showed, there is your Google Map integration. Here in the center, this is your main tiles where you access most of the different shortcuts inside this infotainment system. You can see Android Auto and Apple CarPlay is currently grayed out because a phone is not paired to the system. Otherwise, one of those two would be currently activated, where you can swap between the OEM software on the head unit and wireless Android Auto or Apple CarPlay. If we scroll over one page, there's more tiles. You can reconfigure or rearrange any of these simply by pressing and holding, moving it over, just like that of a smartphone app. And finally, here on the left-hand side in this vertical portion, you have more additional shortcuts that are all duplicates of these larger tiles that you'll find on the main screen. So at the bottom, we have a little home icon that is physical right here as well. Both those do the same functionality. You have a little music note above that. That brings up your audio page. Like I said, you can access this via that audio tile right there. So those do the same functionalities. Next, you have a little map icon. So it's similar to this one. Brings up your full screen Google Map integration, again, built into the actual head unit itself. This is very handy if you want to go ahead and put in a destination via voice search, via typing it in this box up here. It's essentially a full version of Google Maps that you'll find on your computer or smartphone app built onto the head unit itself. Next, we have a little rectangle which looks similar to that of a smartphone, and that's what it is. It's the Bluetooth pairing screen or your devices list if you already have a bunch of devices paired. So this is where you'll manage your phones. If you press that, you can delete, add, or reconfigure current phones that are paired to the infotainment system. Next up, we have a little trailer at the top. This is your trailering page. You can go ahead and run a light test if you have your trailer wiring hooked up. Very handy tool if you're all alone and don't have somebody else to check the lights for you. And then lastly, at the very top, you do have a little bubble icon, which is actually the voice assistant by Google. So if you press this, it'll bring up the voice assistant. What's the weather outside?
Right now in East Moline, it's 54 degrees.
And you can see just how quick that was to search and actually give you the answer that you asked for. So the Google integration inside this vehicle, as long as you have a decent cell service, should be very snappy just like that. Now you can see a little bell icon next to that Google Assistant button as well as a guest. Now this is your current alerts or notifications on your current drive. So anything that does come up and pop up as a notification will be in this tab right here. You can go ahead and clear all. And you can see there's your guest. Which is the current user by this infotainment system. I believe you can set up different profiles so you can quickly change between the guests and the users, and that will change the music favorites and some of the other infotainment system settings rather than having to configure it for each driver every time you get in the vehicle and use it. So that is your overall home screen in a nutshell. And then over here on the top right-hand portion, you do have your little map icon to indicate there is GPS signal. You have your Wi-Fi data signal, ambient outside temperature, as well as your current time over there in the top right-hand portion. Now going back to these tiles, these are just the main shortcuts for all the features of the system. You can rearrange them like I showed, and you also can replace any of these vertical portions over here with any of these. So say you want the camera icon over there, you can go ahead and drag it over here and replace any of these. And once you drag it to that location, it will replace the one that was currently there. So now to quickly show you some of the main pages or shortcuts, I've already showed you the Google Maps. This is your audio page. This is where you'll change between the source. So up here in this little white box, you can change between all the different sources: AM, FM, XM, Bluetooth, Google News, podcasts, USB, and Amazon Alexa. If we go back to this and say you want to set some favorites down below, I believe it only lets you set 10. There's your XM favorites that come out from the factory. You can go ahead and set an FM favorite right next to it simply by pressing and holding for a few seconds. There's your tune selection, so you can tune to a direct number that you know for the station. It will have album art if applicable, and you can change your audio settings up here, including the EQ, fade balance, manage your favorites, as well as radio text if you want that scrolling along, say, an FM station that does display that information. Next, we have the phone page, which again, I already showed you. You can pair and manage Bluetooth connected devices, camera. This truck only has the rear backup camera. It does have trailering guidance as well as normal guidance lines. Google Assistant page simply brings up Google Assistant. Play Store, you can log into your Google and Play Store account to download additional apps that are compatible with the infotainment system, similar to that of Android Auto. So very handy in my opinion. Android Auto and Apple CarPlay icons or shortcuts to access that if currently connected and a phone is paired. Trailer light test, already showed you that page. You have climate settings, so you can control some of the climate controls on the actual screen, in addition to all of the hard touch buttons below. I'm not exactly sure why you want to use this on a daily basis or frequent basis in that regards when the knobs and buttons are all down here. Here's your main setting page. We will come back to that here in a minute. This is where you'll change some of the vehicle settings, comfort, privacy, all that good stuff. Wi-Fi hotspot. This does have a Wi-Fi hotspot, so you can use the data connection to the car, share it to up to, I believe, 5 or 10 devices like your smartphone, and use the built-in Wi-Fi here in the car. Amazon Alexa. You can actually sign into your Amazon Alexa account, control music, get directions as it says, place calls, and use other smartphone functionality and do other functions with your vehicle. Here's your My Chevrolet. You can sign into your My Chevrolet account. And again, you can use the smartphone app to remote start, unlock, lock, do all that good stuff inside the actual vehicle. Google Podcasts and Google News come pre-downloaded out of the box, ready for you to be signed in and explore your current library for your listening needs. So that is pretty much all of the apps that come pre-downloaded on the infotainment system. Now, if we go back to the settings page, here's additional ways to access some of the other pages that have already shown you guys here in this video. So connections is all of your phones, as well as your Wi-Fi network and hotspot actual connections that you've made already. Next, we have vehicle, and this is all of your vehicle settings. So you can see this does come equipped with teen driver, rear seat reminder, which you can toggle on and off right there, similar to buckle to drive, which you can toggle on and off. Climate and air quality just allows you to change some of the climate settings. You can turn on auto heated seats. So if you remote start the car, ambient temp is low enough, it will go ahead and automatically turn on either the driver and or passenger front seats. And there's your automatic rear defog if it senses it needs to. Collision and detection, you can basically change it from automatic emergency braking. You can change it to action, alert, or off. So if you don't want that at all, you can turn it off. If you want to alert and automatically brake for you, you can turn it to that. Or if you just want the warning and audible alert, it will do that. Next, you have comfort and convenience. So this basically changes the chime volume inside of the vehicle for your seatbelt reminder and things like that. And you do have remote mirror folding, which is very cool, which I think if you lock the vehicle with the key fob or maybe on the exterior door handle, it will automatically fold the mirrors in because this truck does have power folding mirrors. So this is actually the first time I've seen that on a GM vehicle. I know a lot of other brands out there have had it for quite a long time. Next, you have lighting settings. So this is your vehicle locator lights, which changes the actual exterior lights on the vehicle. I believe this is like the parking lights and stuff like that. And it will also keep the headlights and taillights on for a predetermined time, which you can change here between off, 30, 60, and 120 seconds. Towards the bottom, we have power door lock. So this is where you'll change the automatic door lock and delayed door lock. So if you want your all doors to be unlocked when you press the unlock button on the exterior handle or the key fob, you can do all doors at once or just the driver door or turn it entirely off. So you can do that. And then delayed door lock essentially means, I think, if you the interior lock switch is pressed, your vehicle will delay locking when if a door is open. This allows you to open the doors after a short time. Pressing the switch a second time will immediately lock your vehicle. So it kind of displays what each option is there on the right hand side. And then finally, remote lock, unlock, and start. You can read these there yourself. It'll give you feedback via the lights and horn, driver door for remote door unlock, remote start, auto heated seats, so that's that setting I was mentioning, remote window operation, so you can roll down the windows via the proximity key fob by holding the unlock button for a few additional seconds, so turn that on and off right there. Passive door unlock, so again, you can change between the driver door or all doors. Here's remote left in vehicle alert. So that's the honk that you have if you get out the vehicle, shut the door, and the key fob is still inside of the vehicle. That will alert you via the horn. You can turn that on and off, as well as the remote remove from vehicle. I assume while the vehicle is running, and will go ahead and alert you via 3 quick honks, similar to that of the remote left in vehicle. So those are all the settings available under the different settings menu for the vehicle settings themselves. Next, we have apps and permissions. Basically allows certain apps or all apps to access your location and phone. There's how you change your date and time. Most of these will use the automatic time zone and change accordingly, such as daylight savings. But you can change all that, including the date, manually under this if you want to use the manual settings. Display, basically turn off display, or it will change the day and night between the dimmer and lighting conditions using the ambient light sensor on the dash. Sounds basically brings up just the maximum startup volume of the radio when you turn on the vehicle for the very first time. And then you have audible touch feedback, which is that little ticking noise you can hear as I'm selecting or deselecting an option. Very subtle, so I really would keep that on. Not a big deal there. Users, you can basically edit different users right there. Privacy, storage. You can pre-download apps and other things on the actual head unit itself. System, here's how you change the different system language, keyboard, reset options. So if you want to reset the system to default. So say you got the truck pre-owned or just had different people driving it and want to reset to how it comes from the factory, you can do it right here, which is very nice. You can see this version is running Android 10, which is actually interesting because the Colorado that I showed you guys in a separate video was actually running Android 11. So this is one version behind, but nonetheless very cool that it is running Google Automotive. Over-the-air updates are supported by this vehicle, so you can go ahead and manually check for updates. Otherwise, the system should automatically check for updates occasionally. You can see it says it's up to date. So yeah, that's about it as far as all the settings and different page menus here on the 2024 Chevy Silverado HD. This is not a fully loaded or fully equipped truck, so it doesn't have all the features like the surround view camera system and a few other items as well. But most of the trucks with this built-in head unit should be all the same and have most of the same features. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video and found something helpful. If you guys did find this video helpful, make sure to hit that like button below. Greatly helps out the channel and these videos. Subscribe if you guys are not already subscribed. And as always, hope to see you guys in the next one.